Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it is for you. I'm Cyclone. This is Let's Play Train Simulator. Well, we are going to do the final scenario for now before we move on to the Cahoon Pass, which we're going to be driving ES44AC on Cahoon Pass in the next video. But for right now, let's go ahead and do the London to Brighton Purley Plougher. I can't get my words out today. It does have a CS after it showing that this is a career scenario, so naturally this is the career scenario version. There is a standard scenario version if you don't like getting the points like I'm trying to do here. And as you may have noticed, some of these scenarios I'm not getting full 1,000 points because 1,000 points are not available. I am making mistakes, but 1,000 points actually are not available in two of these scenarios. That 947 is out of 960. So I don't know what the scoring is going to be in this scenario yet, but we're going to find out when we get into it. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the Purley Plougher. The description: service bound from Milton Keynes, again I hope I'm saying that right, which usually starts at South Croydon. However, due to the weather, they are running it out of Purley to aid in keeping the line free of slow. Purley is a couple stations to the south, I believe, of South Croydon. It might actually be one. I should probably verify that. But in any case, we are going to be starting at Purley here. And obviously we're going to be going from there to try and keep the line free of snow. So I think it is to the south of South Croydon because we have to actually... we're trying to keep more of the track free. So yeah, it is a couple stations south of South Croydon. I had to think about that. So the service will run as far as Clapham Junction before a driver train, which I believe is supposed to be a driver change. Again, I think that's a typo in the description. And also in the manual. They put the same description in the manual. So they made that bad. Maybe it's an English phrase. I don't know. I think it means a driver change. In any case, let's get started. I'll see you in the scenario. Hello, driver. Today you'll be driving the service bound from Milton Keynes, stopping at Clapham Junction for a driver change. Due to the severe weather conditions, you will be running from Purley instead of South Croydon to aid in keeping the line free of snow. You need to make several stops along the way to Clapham Junction. Good luck. I've gone ahead and opened the doors, even though we're a little early on opening the doors. And we're already allowing passengers on. Thank you very much. And let's see what we have in the train today. There we go. You have to go to a regular view. So we got a couple people at a table here. Very nice. Another, oh, nice distinguished gentleman. I've seen him on another train already. Ah, very nice. So we are ready to go. Well, I didn't do the AWS self-test, so I should do that. It's not letting me do the self-test, apparently. There, that did not want to go for some reason. The key being a little bit fussy today. I kept pushing Q, it didn't want to work. But we are on the way. Now we're going to get ourselves up to 25. I'm keeping an eye on the speed limit to see if we can get ourselves, or see when we can start moving ourselves up. We're not going to get to 60, but we may get close to it. So we shall see what happens here. In fact, what am I saying? No, we're not going to get close to 60 at all. We can speed up anyway, but we're not going to get close to 60 at all. There's no chance. I'm a little too optimistic here. In fact, I'm going to stop getting speed here. I'm going to brake now. Because of the weather, I'm going to turn the wipers on. Because of the weather, we have to consider that in our stopping distances, so we can't just screech to a halt. We will get wheel slip, and that will penalize us. So we are going to control our speed coming into the stations. Hopefully we have enough time on our timetable to allow for this, because driving safely is more important than getting there quickly. Now, given I already did a practice run of this scenario, I know it is possible to do it safely. It's just a matter of doing it while also maintaining your timetable. So that's the challenge. It can be done. I just made a couple mistakes in my practice run. So we're going to try to pull off a good run here. We're coming up to the 4-car stop, and I'm going to stop right there next to it. Arrival at Purley Oaks. So back in the cab, as you see, we are waiting to take off. We were a little early, so it is going to keep us to our timetable. That means we're going to have to potentially make a couple of tighter stops here based on our permitted timetable exit. And we're going to go ahead and take our timeliness bonus, and we're going to get out of here. And we're moving. And now that we are moving, I'm going to go ahead and up the throttle right up to 100% so we can get some speed right away. So leaving Purley Oaks Station, we are on our way to South Croydon as our next stop. Again, we are stopping at all stops along our track. I believe this is a Sanderstead Road that we are crossing right now. Gonna get close to 50, and I might actually hit 50 before I start braking. I did. About 5/10 of a mile out, I'm gonna start braking. And here we are, as advertised. So the South Croydon Junction should be coming in soon. The South Croydon Junction comes from the Sanderstead Station. There is no station for that route. I believe it is actually a local line, not a national line. Ooh, train getting a little jumpy today in this conditions. I did not need to slow down as early as I did, so I'll keep that in mind for future stops. So I can probably bump it down to about 4/10 of a mile, and I'm probably still going to be okay. But for right now, we are going to stop. And we have the time to make this stop, it looks like. We're not going to get to the 4-car stop because I want to make the stop on time. So we're just going to go ahead and release right here. And the doors are open. Arrival at South Croydon. We're going to wait in the cab here, as you can kind of hear Big Ben in the background. You hear it? At least I'm going to say it's Big Ben. I assume it is because we are in London, of course. And so it looks like the last of our cars did not get into the train. Oops. That was a calculation error. I'm going to have to check that on the next station. So I should have moved up a little more. I would have still been okay for my bonus, but it might have hampered me on my next stop if I did that. So I'm going to just accept that that happened. And we're going to try and go a little faster to the next station to make up for it. Not much else we can do. We're on our way to East Croydon. So as we leave South Croydon, we are going to be crossing Coombe Road. That might be a bridge for it right there, in fact. As you see, we do have a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit coming up. I need to slow down to 45 immediately. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and let it coast now, but I'm going to have to slow down quickly anyway, because I am now within range, so I do need to start slowing down. So I got down to 38. And I'm 0.2 of a mile out, so we're going to slow down a little more now. 30. I'm going to try and get more of the train into the station this time. Preferably the entire train. So here's the platform. Let's go ahead and start braking now. There's our 4-car stop, so I have put on a level 2 application. I'm not doing more because of wheel slip. So it looks like we missed the sign just a little bit, but we're still well in the station, so we are good for our stop. Arrival at East Croydon, platform 4. As we leave, we're going to be taking the Brighton up slow Croydon route, as you can see ahead, under the next signal. Well, the second signal from now. That is what the orange marker indicates. Departing East Croydon, we are going to be heading next to Selhurst, platform 2. That is about a mile away from us, and we are leaving at a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. I believe there's a 60-per-hour speed limit as we leave, but we're not going to be able to get up to 60 before we arrive at Selhurst. Actually, I lied. We're going to have a 40 speed limit coming up. That is still before Selhurst. We're on a different route than the previous one that I remember. There are a lot of different speed limits on the different lines. You have to be able to identify every single limit before you can actually sign off and work on these lines. So this looks easy, but I guarantee you, without the HUD, this is not easy. And that's why I'm not doing it without the HUD. So because we're not going to have a lot of difference between 40 and 45, I'm just going to not go any higher than 40 at this point. I'm going to let the speed increase incrementally. And we're just going to head into the 40. We are about a minute away from our stop. I need to slow down now, so I need to put the brakes on so we don't incidentally speed here. We're about a half a mile out at this point. I did not mean to brake there, so it looks like we're on a bit of an uphill gradient. That was on the bridge that we're passing right now. We are smoothing out now. The train is having a difficult time in these conditions, it looks like. We need to start slowing down now. I did not mean to do a level 2 brake application. Level 1 is plenty for right now. That was an accidental application, so do not mind that. Now I will take the brakes off since I did do that accidental level 2 application. So I'm going to coast in at 25 at this point. And once I get a little further into the platform, I will apply a level 2 application. First a level 1, then a level 2. So here's our level 1 and our level 2. And there's our 4-car stop, so we get to stop right there. Arrival at Selhurst, platform 2. Our speed limit leaving Selhurst station is 40 miles per hour. However, we are going to be emerging into a 60 right after we leave the station. So I'm going to look at 60 as our speed limit because I don't think we're going to be up to 40 before we can go 60. But there is a 45 speed limit coming up before Thornton Heath, which is our next stop. That is about 7/10 of a mile away. So it's really not that far down the road before we're going to be back out of the 45 anyway. Of course, as I would say in any situation, if you go to that sign at 45, you're going to blow by the station this weather. So you don't want to be at 45 when you reach that sign. So we're going to take the speed off immediately, keeping that in mind. I did not mean to brake yet, but I will take that. I'll just have to adjust that in my calculations that I've already hit the brakes once. I think this is a good time to start braking. And I will take the brakes off for a moment. So we are falling slightly behind our time here. I'm going to try not to lose too much time. That's why I'm going to just rush into the station at about 30. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a level 2 application and just see if we can get that time back quickly. There's our 4-car stop. Looks like we're going to blow by that. But we are still okay for our stop, and we are going to open the doors. Arrival at Thornton Heath. leaving Thornton Heath. Try again, leaving Thornton Heath, platform 2. Our speed limit is 45 miles per hour, but again, as with Selhurst, we're emerging into a 60 mile per hour speed limit following the station. Not as immediate, so I'm going to keep in mind 40 as the limit for now, in case we get that high, but I don't think we're going to get to 40 before we're able to go 60. We are passing the 60 sign right now. That road coming out of Thornton Heath, by the way, is, I believe, Brook Road. And then we're going to have another road right behind it, which is this overbridge right here. That is Sandfield Road. So if you're looking around London for these stations, those are a couple roads to look for. We are going to get close to our 60 mile per hour speed limit, but I have taken the throttle off because I don't want to... Oh wow, this train is jittery on this track today. Now, we don't want to try and blow past the station here, so I'm going to brake right now. This is a good time to start braking because we are almost at the speed limit. When I get down to about 40, I'm going to assess where we are at that point, and I may continue braking. I may take it off. In fact, I will take it off. Because we were losing speed nicely there. And we should be there in 10 seconds. We're not going to be there in 10 seconds. But fortunately, the game assesses up to the end of the minute, so we are still going to be okay. So as you see, I have put on the level 1 brake application. About 1.3 tenths, so 1,300 of a mile out. And we're arriving at the platform at the exact speed I wanted to, getting in, so that was a fairly good calculation. I'm watching for the 4-car stop so I can put on the level 2 application, but I don't think there is one here, so I'm just going to go ahead and brake wherever. I'll just brake right here. This looks like a good spot. Doors are open. And that's arrival at Norbury. We'll take a quick look outside the train for a moment here. Actually, that's inside the train. You can see that Norbury station, and I'm giving you some of these shots of the snow falling around. So all you have to do is go to the outside view, move the camera around. You can take some neat pictures by doing that. So that's something you can do to get some pictures. Leaving Norbury, we are on our way to Straetham Common, platform 2. It's a cold winter's day in January today with some snowfall here. In fact, coincidentally enough, it was snowing around my place slightly earlier today as I'm recording this. As I'm recording this, it's early winter. I don't know when this is going to hit my channel, but it was early winter when I recorded this. So 60 is our speed limit, as I may have said already. We do have a 45 coming up, so I'm not going to go much above 45. So I can hit the brakes. Actually, if I reach that 45 sign going 45, I'm missing the station. So I actually need to slow down now because we are 4/10 of a mile out. So I'm going to just let the speed come off gradually here. I'm going to assess as we get lower. And at this point, I will take the brakes off. I think we are coming in a little too slow at this point. Now I will put the brakes back on. Actually, I think it was a little too early again, so I'm going to just feather it here. Now's the time I definitely want to brake. We just passed the 45. Four-car stop might be further ahead, and I have time to move up to it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. There it is up there. So that's ideally where we want to stop, right up there. Arrival at Straetham Common, platform 2. So we are back. Oh. Wait for the noise to die down. So we are back within our timetable completely here because we were early for that stop. So we are leaving Straetham Common at a speed limit of 45 miles per hour. But as seems to be the case here with a lot of stations, there's a speed limit right after the station for 60 miles per hour. And we're going to be eventually getting up close to that as we come up to Balham. We have a little bit of a drive to Balham. The line going off to the right goes into the South London network on the Sutton and Mole Valley line. And again, it goes into the South London network, so you can access London Victoria or any of the stations along the South London network from that path. Bit of an out-of-the-way path to get there, but you can do it. And the junction going to the left from the other direction, that junction is the same line, the Sutton and Mole Valley line, going to Sutton, but there is no DLC for that. Sutton is not represented in Train Simulator at this time. West Croydon, which was on an earlier branch, is also part of the Sutton and Mole Valley line. And I'm going to actually go ahead and pump the speed up because we do have time to make this stop. So I'm going to go ahead and get just a little more speed here because that may save us a few seconds here. But we are early, so we don't really need to worry about saving seconds here. And as you see, Wandsworth Common is right after Balham. They are very, very close to each other. So travelers could theoretically use either station because they are fairly close. As you see, based on the markers, they're about about 3/4 of a mile apart. So literally just a short drive down the road. If you live in between the two, you can pick either one, depending on the service you need. I will start to brake now. And that's to get down to the 40. So once we get down to 40, we are okay for our approach to the station. Again, there's a 60 right after it. It doesn't make any sense to me. What does make sense is that it suddenly got a lot darker. So there is a change in our weather conditions. It is getting a little darker, a little more overcast, it looks like. So we don't have as much light as we did previously before coming into Balham. And I slowed down a little more than I intended to. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold my speed here for the time being. In fact, I will increase it slightly. But I'm going to have to slow down now anyway. So this is our slow down point. And now I'll remove that brake. This will allow us to ease our way into the station. I just feathered the speed up for a second there to give us here just a little faster. And now I'm going to start braking again. Now the 4-car stop is going to be hard to see in these conditions. I believe it is up there. I think that is actually it right there, but that may just be a platform indicator. I don't think I see a 4-car stop. So we're just going to go ahead and stop here because we're at the end of the platform. We're going to open the doors. Arrival at Balham Station. Leaving Balham Station, we are going to be leaving at a speed limit of 60 miles per hour. Our next stop, of course, Wandsworth Common, is about 3/4 of a mile away, so literally just down the road. We're not going to get anywhere near 60 at this point. We're going to cross the Balham High Road as we leave Balham Station. And immediately I'm going to go ahead and cut off the speed here because about a quarter of a mile out, we need to start slowing down. So here we are. Actually, I'm going to hold on to this speed for a little while longer. I think we can manage it. There we are. I'll brake now. And at this point, I will coast in. And I will now brake. So there's our level 1 application. We are now fully in the platform, so I will do a level 2 application. And I'm going to take it off for a moment so I can look for the 4-car stop sign, because we do have time to make that stop. And I'm going to take advantage of that. But it looks like, as you can see, there is no 4-car stop here, just the S stop at the end of the station. So we're going to go ahead and do a full stop there before we get too far. We're going to open the doors. Leaving Wandsworth Common, we are going very slowly right now. Didn't want to move at all. We are going at a speed limit of 60 miles per hour. We have about 2.5 minutes to go, a little over a mile, to get to Clapham Junction, platform 16. That's going to serve as the terminus of our service today, because there's going to be a driver change, so the service will continue without us. Now, there's not a lot of places you can go from Clapham Junction, so I'm going to assume that because of the driver change, it's probably going along on the South London network, but it could be that a driver is taking over at Clapham Junction for the trip back to Portsmouth after going to London Waterloo. We really don't know. So we don't get that story. We're going to just go ahead and treat it as whatever happens. Whatever that driver is doing is not our business. You can see we have a 20 and a 10 before we get to Clapham Junction Station, so we're going to be junctioned off a path here. We're being given a warning about that. Because I know about the speed reduction, I am going to go ahead and slow down a little bit right now. I'm going to try to stay no higher than 40 at this point. Now as we get closer to the 20, I will hit the brakes a little bit more. We should have the time to do this. We should be alright. So because we're going to be going to the platform at 10, we're going to have a lot of time to cruise on the platform before we're allowed to actually stop. You might be inclined to get a little more speed at this point, and there's no wrong way to do this as long as you stay within the speed limits. I'm just going to go ahead and do it safely because I think I have plenty of time to do that. So I hope that you enjoyed the ride with me here on this passenger service today. We are going to be ending our service, as I said, at Clapham Junction. So make sure you like the video if you like what you saw here today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more from this channel. Let's go ahead and get down to 30 right now. Yep, we're losing speed gradually, but I have to get down to 10 anyway, so I'm going to keep braking. 10 is our limit going into the station. So we're going to drop to 15. I'm going to cruise at this point. And after I pass the 20, I'm going to prepare to brake for the 10. And this is why it's 10. We have to cross this junction right here. Whoa, a little more. Thank you. So we're going to have to cruise slowly in here. Again, we have the time, so we can do this, but we can't lurch forward like I might otherwise to give ourselves more speed getting in the station. We have to stay under 10. So to do that, I have to cut it right off. Let's look for a 4-car stop if possible. Yes, we have a stop here. Thank you. Actually, it's a double yellow. Even better. I'm not seeing the marker I'm looking for, so actually that could be it up there. I don't know. But no, we're just going to go ahead and stop here. It is our 4-car stop, so that is the correct stop. So we're going to go ahead and stop here. That's the end of our service. We're going to get to find out how we did in a moment. I believe we're going to get as perfect a score as we can, which is 990 with no mistakes. Unfortunately, this scenario cannot be done in 1,000 points unless you have some cheating software to hack the score before it's submitted. So, yeah. To those who have that software, congratulations, you have accomplished nothing. This is how you do a perfect scenario on this video. Thank you very much. And we are done. So you successfully completed your journey to Clapham Junction. It's time to take a well-earned break and let the next driver take over. Well done. Snow was a little bit lurchy in that scenario. I'm not sure why. Probably a weird bug with the game itself. But we did manage the drive. All of the stops were on time. Everything was perfect. There's nothing to really review here. We just had a perfect drive. Now, you might be wondering why I'm only gaining 20 experience. I already had a run at 970 points. I had a wheel slip penalty in that run, unfortunately, for 20 points. But so this was an improvement on my prior score. I gained the extra experience. I can't really do better than this. Again, like I said, that's the best score. And you maybe notice there's a Harry. If you know Harry, he posts some scenarios in the workshop as well. He also played this scenario. On the global leaderboard, I am, of course, tied with other people who've also done a perfect run. And then there are the cheaters. God bless the cheaters, right? So, what are we going to do next time? We're going to do, let's start on Cahoon Pass next time. That seems to be a good place to go for next time. And we're going to go ahead and start showing off this GE44 or ES44AC. It's going to be a different model than the one that we've been driving already, but this is also one of the original train simulator routes. I think this is a good place to go to start next time. So next time we're going to go here. We're going to start showing that off. In the meantime, I'm Cyclone. Please follow the channel and subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like what you saw here today. And make sure you come back next time to see the start of Cahoon Pass. This is one of the scenarios. Obviously, these ES44AC scenarios are the ones that we're going to be doing. We'll do the SD40 ones later. And we're going to start showing that off, and then we're going to come back to London and Brighton when we're all done. So when we're done those ES44AC, we'll come back to London and Brighton, finish that off, and then we'll figure out what else we want to do. So I'll see you next time for that. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. And I will see you next time as we start Cahoon Pass. Bye-bye.